It's big time growth. Obviously, we've learned a lot in the last 2 years, and this has been one of our things where we've been a little delayed and, how we close out games, especially close games. And, what an unbelievably competitive game. Both teams played extremely well. Our first road game of the season, I said before the game, we've been good on the road. We weathered a lot of storms tonight, a lot of runs too. But I thought, we closed the third. They went on a little run. We closed the third on a really high note, in my opinion. And then in the fourth quarter, we let, George hit away on that 1-3 side out of bounds. We can execute that better, but just the attention to detail, they were going zone, they were switching, they were physical, they were trapping, they were doing everything possible to get us out of our rhythm. And there were some dicey moments for sure, but we made some big time plays. A lot of that started with the defensive end, just coming up with some big time boards. But great execution, as we had to weather some storms, but definitely great learning, more to learn. We'll watch the film and all that stuff, but really, really proud of the guys. We're going to be in these situations a lot, for, the rest of the season. So we just got to be prepared and hopefully we gain a lot of good stuff out of this.
Great team effort. No one just went off on a night. They just matriculated up to what they needed to be. How does it say about the chemistry also, I know it's only 2 games, but the chemistry early on in the season?
Yeah, chemistry, I said, the outset of training camp, obviously the last 2 years, but even in the off season, guys have just been locked in, super motivated. I thought, we got off to a good start. They went on a big run, but then we just kept battling. First quarter, 34 points isn't acceptable for us. But then we rebounded in the second, had a great third quarter. But the communication on the bench has been just at a different level, than the first 2 years, in my opinion. So a lot of great leadership from a lot of individual guys, great contributions. Obviously, our starters, poured in a lot of points. But I even thought the bench, even though we didn't score much, they held it down. They didn't let the leads extend. They brought a lot of great energy, helped us in that fourth quarter, early in the fourth quarter. So just contributions up and down. It's just that just speaks to the chemistry and just obviously everyone has an impact, any given night. So this was a holistic approach, collective win from our entire team.
All right, we're going to go to Zoom to Evan.
Taylor, just kind of going back to you guys closing this out, what do you think this team learned? It's early, but what do you think the team learned the most from just last year with those games not going your way, to just staying calm and not letting the Clippers kind of just, take you guys out of what you were doing?
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. There's obviously all kinds of basketball X's and O's and strategies and whatnot. I think the biggest, growth, and this is only just one game, now we got to be consistent in this area. Is just the calm and understanding, whether it's in the flow of the game, we got to get on the same page and, get poised, or it's in the timeouts. Tonight there was a lot of, timeouts late in the game, talking about coverages, matchups, talking what we're going to do on the defensive end. And then after that possession, what we're going to do on the offensive end. There's really good execution. Give the Clippers a lot of credit. Even though we tried to execute some of our stuff on offense, they took us out of a lot of our stuff. They were throwing different looks at us. But I think just the poise to understand what the job needed to be done on both sides, give them credit too. They made some tough shots, but we made just enough plays on both sides of the floor. I think just the collective understanding of what the game plan was, possession to possession, was big time. So that's the biggest takeaway. But as I said a moment ago, we just got to be consistent, for 48 in any situation, but in these heightened ones, even more focused.
All right, we're going to go to Drew.
Taylor, the 3-pointer by Jaren at the end of the game, is that one of those plays that you hope, in a single moment, can kind of be a catalyst to really help him have a really good rest of his road trip?
Hopefully. I think he's had a lot of catalysts in the offseason, and obviously that was a big moment for us as a team. Job collapsing the defense. Then making a kick out, trusting his teammate to make a big time shot, the celebration afterwards, how happy they were to be able to make that play. But we've got to be humble through this process, understanding, there's a lot of ways to win ball games. Tonight called for, what we were just talking about. But just, the confidence within each other is probably the biggest thing. And I think that's what all of our guys feel. So for JJ in particular, the confidence that he gets with all the work he's put in, and obviously the trust he has from his teammates, he can hopefully have a great regular season, right? After this, not just the road trip.
Ready for the room? Yep, go ahead.
Just building on this idea of closing games out, the first 2 games, it seems like John's been making some really good decisions, including that shot. What is it about his mental makeup, or even just his game in general, that gives you so much trust in him late in those spots?
one of the best students of the game, watches a ton of basketball, does a lot of self-reflection on where he can get better. That's leading by example. He knows how to get his teammates organized. Obviously, we put our heads together on a number of things throughout the game, situations wise, that he's out there, getting guys organized on the offensive end. Clippers threw a couple different looks at. So then the next possession was, hey, we got to do this, got to do that, make sure someone's coming here. All 5 guys on the same page. Communication defensively too, as we're adjusting matchups or coverages, but he watches a lot of film as I said, a great student of the game. And he understands, where there's so many different growth opportunities and the responsibility to make sure he's got to be on point and then communicate that and make sure everyone else is on point. There's still a long road for all of us, to get better in these situations and game to game. But the fact that he just pours so much into how can I help win? What's the game telling me to do? What do I do to get all my teammates on the same page? So we can have the best chance possible. That's been the thing that he's steadily gotten better in year after year.
Terry.
In the past couple of years, you had to play your rookies because you had to get that in there. Zaire is coming there and he looks comfortable with no pressure on him. Has his growth been as good as it seemed like to us, because he hit 3 and he's been playing good defensively? Has his growth been as good as it looks?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think, with the role that he's playing right now, he's, getting confident in that role every single day. We're getting confidence in it every single day. Obviously 2 big time threes for us. And then as you said, like his defensive, efforts, attention to detail, game plan, he's going out there and giving really good effort. There's naturally going to be some mistakes and growth moments. And I said at the beginning, the speed and physicality of the game sometimes is going to reveal itself. But, I know he's going to come back and just give the great effort every single day. Obviously, we're still learning a lot about him, in our system and who we got. Said before the game, just the competitor and the will to just want to get better to help winning. Obviously, tonight, 2 big threes to help us win. But there were some small things defensively, just with his length, one-on-one defense, contesting shots, may not show up in the box score. But those little things are wins for us over a 40 even a game.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Great. Thanks, everybody. Yep.